Okay, great. So welcome. Thank you very much for coming. My name is Areli Hermanson, and I am a dietitian by background. I work as a community nutritionist with Island Health, and currently my roles include coordinator for a health promoting school project on the island with 8 schools, and also looking at how we roll out healthy schools across the island in a coordinated fashion. Right. So schools are on board with healthy schools as well as the Ministry of Health. So Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, and the health authorities in BC have made a real strong commitment to engage schools and school districts around healthy schools. And because we know that healthy students learn better and better learners are healthier. So it is a spiral, and it keeps coming back on itself. So there's a real commitment there. There are 4 areas that schools are encouraged to look at. They can choose one or more: healthy eating, active living, that mental health piece, and tobacco or substance use prevention. I'm going to focus on healthy eating, and I know this morning we heard from Aaron and, gosh, who's the other person around health literacy. And my sort of take on it is certainly food literacy is part of that food security piece. And it's all about self-determination, responsibility, and enjoyment in food as well. But his definition was so much more broad than mine. So the thing about healthy eating is that it can be addressed in all areas of the school community. And it's not just the teaching and learning. It's really allowing for those hands-on experiences in the school on the school grounds and in the wider community. And also looking at that policy piece, and Melanie was speaking about, or someone was speaking about policy earlier, and how important that is, and that can really be a driving force. So I'll just give us some examples of, inside classrooms we have teaching and learning, but also that peer-to-peer education that is so important. So there are instances across the island where we have peer teaching. The older kids come and teach the younger kids around healthy eating, physical activity, and mental health. Relationships in the environment. This is where we really support clean and safe water, air, food. We have to keep all those things in mind. And in some of our communities, that can be an added challenge, is to have that clean air, clean soil, clean water. You can see relationships in the environment as being very important when we're talking about student leadership and really truly engaging students. And then, of course, community partnerships is another place where schools can look to really leverage opportunities, and that's how we can get involved with things like agriculture in the classroom or farm-to-school type activities, recreation centers that offer cooking classes and other things, and then working within the administration to make the healthy choice the easy choice. And Melanie had mentioned the school food and beverage guidelines, but there's also lots of other opportunities there. So what we're looking at on an island is that we really need to look at schools in a very holistic way and not just what happens in classrooms. And we can do that by taking a very comprehensive approach. It's really just a process through which schools take to become healthy schools. And that looks like it's a little bit busy. Oh, sorry, one more. With the process, student engagement is key. I don't know what your experience has been, but mine is that often youth get left out of the picture, and the people who should be at the table aren't always the ones that are invited to the table. So this is really, really key, is that we're looking at how do we encourage that sense of wonder and possibility, coming to the table with optimism so that we can ask questions and create an action plan that might address the issues. And then, of course, coming back and looping in. That's the other thing that we sometimes struggle with, is that we don't loop back with our communities and say what happened, what can we do differently next time. So in terms of a process, is very, very brief look at it, is that we have educators and health partners, and that we want educators to take a very planned approach with support from health partners in terms of gathering evidence around what is the food security looking like in this community. What are some of the indicators we can look at? What should we focus on and develop a plan? And that's something that health partners will be and are in working with. So I used a bit of an analogy here. what schools, they're really in various states of readiness and various states of planning and implementing healthy eating in schools. So they could be anywhere from emerging and they're just having awareness, and they're contemplating, there's maybe some possibility here. And then somebody digs in and they develop something and they build capacity, and they take the initial plans for action. Then when they expand the plans and opportunities and the capacities, this is, the garden's really growing. Hopefully my analogy's working. And then when it's accomplished, it's a little busy to look at, but this is when healthy eating is woven through the entire community and in the culture of the school, and when families are engaged and the community at large. And this is really when things are sustained and embedded. So a healthy school follows the food and beverage guidelines, teaches healthy eating within the classroom, and of course it has lots of opportunities for skill development outside. They work with partners. There's lots and lots of different names for cooking programs with kids after school. They want, safe, accessible places for kids to eat. I know a lot of us sat in the hallway to eat in school and then evaluate that. So if we come back to this Healthy Schools Learning Framework and work together with schools, we can accomplish some really amazing things in the next 4, 5, 6, 7 years. It's a long process. Thank you. 6 minutes goes really fast.
So are there any questions for Areli?
Yes.
I'm the only one, I don't want to knock it off.
No, that's good.
You mentioned that there were 8 schools that you were currently working with. Can you identify at least the region school districts?
Absolutely, yes. So the one half of my job is as a Health Promoting Schools coordinator, and so this is a funded project through the Public Health Agency of Canada, and we are part of a phase 2 of a study that was initiated in the Saskatoon Health Region. So we are a dissemination project, so we know the project works, but does it work on our island with our geography that is vast? Our island's like 600 plus kilometers, and we have rural, remote areas. So we have 4 public schools. 2 are in Campbell River, they're elementary and middle schools. 2 are in the South Island, both middle schools. We have 2 francophone schools. One is in Port Alberni, the other is in Nanaimo. And then we have 2 First Nations schools, both in the Nuu-chah-nulth traditional territories. One is Hayopayak in Tishat First Nation, and the other is Didadat in Didadat Nation. So it's a 4-year project, 3 years in the school, and 4th year is a little bit of a wrap-up post-April, and looking at evaluation. And what that does is it encourages schools to come together and build a healthy schools team. This is consistent to what we want all schools in BC to be doing, but the research piece and the added piece to this is that there's a community engagement facilitator, either a community builder or engagement facilitator, sort of have different names. And what they do is they truly focus on the student engagement and the parent engagement, and look to partnerships within the community to boost what the school's capacity is willing and able to do. It's truly a education, a school-focused and a school-driven effort. It's not health coming in and saying, I think you should do this. It's truly based on what the capacity, interests, and focus areas of the schools are. And then there's opportunities for those school teams to come together and cross-pollinate. So the Francophone schools together, the public health schools, and the First Nation schools, and then all together. And there's youth engagement activities that occur across schools as well. So it's a very exciting project, and Saskatoon has 20 schools. We have 8, but their schools are all within 20 minutes of each other. So it's much, much different. Also, we are engaging and working with the Francophone schools as well as the First Nation schools. And in Saskatoon, they certainly have Aboriginal population and French-speaking students in their schools, but they're all public schools.
Thank you.
Okay, great. There was one question here, and then a question over here.
So I'm wondering if BHA is giving funding to the actual initiatives happening within the school, or is it just more around facilitation of trying to create a school?
For these 8 schools, yes, there's a large contribution in kind from the health authority. There's dollars from the Public Health Agency of Canada to pay for that community builder. What we'd like to see is that, yes, this community builder does make a difference with somebody. It's just 4 hours a week. It doesn't sound like very much, but it's been amazing what they're able to accomplish in the context of that school team. So the school team is supported by the community builder and a public health nurse or a community nutritionist, depending on the area. And then there's teachers, principals, child, youth and family counselors that are involved, and parents, youth. They sort of create the Healthy Schools Committee or team. And so our involvement is really a contribution in kind in terms of public health nursing time, pieces of my time, education, opportunities, travel, administrative type roles.
But that's up to the schools if they want to create a garden, or is that up to them?
No. Oh, yes, there would be other funding that would be sourced for that, and community partnerships. So.
And that's limiting the actual school's ability to build capacity because people with life cycles are already so stressed.
I know. Yeah, there would be other avenues as well. I would say we're in the infancy here. Saskatoon's been going since 2008, and they started with 2 schools in their pilot. It sort of expanded in 2010. So we just received the funding and we're in the process of building those school teams. So I can't tell you how things are going, but I know that healthy eating and mental health have been on the forefront of every school that I've spoke with. Yeah. And of course, there's the link, right? One more question.
Have you been able to involve local farmers as mentors? And when you have
We would-
lives that you can't grow, are you able to have local purchasing policies?
Yeah, those are all things we will look for, absolutely. Because with this Healthy Schools BC assessment pieces, it talks about what would a healthy school look like in terms of all of those things. Are they teaching it? Are they sort of walking the talk? And yes, absolutely, going local is very, very important. And that will be encouraged. Yeah.
What's the name of that project? Please, I can't find it.
Sure, it's the Health Promoting Schools Project.
Health Promoting Schools?
Yes, that's the name of the project from Saskatoon. Now, unfortunately, our nomenclature in BC is different. That's a problem when you start looking at these things across the country. Ours is Healthy Schools BC. So if you are looking for information on healthy schools in British Columbia, it's the healthyschoolsbc.ca website.
Thank you.
You also mentioned that across the island, Island Health is engaging with every school
Yes.
district around the comprehensive program.
Mhm.
And it's really separate initiative, so that it's not just the eight
No.
What they're getting is
The extra funding for the research component. Yeah.
is to
But all schools across the island are, nutritionists are working with, sort of at the district level with superintendents and principals, vice principals at a higher level, like district principals and district PACs. And then at the local school level, public health nurses liaise with their community nutritionist to help schools form these school teams, do assessments. And these are things that are rolling out over the next year.
So information upon what you've just talked about, is that also under the Healthy Schools BC?
BC.ca.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
It's an amazing website. It speaks to all of the different components in terms of focus areas for mental health, healthy practices like tobacco and other substance use, healthy eating and physical activity. Lots and lots of BC grown information on there.
Okay, thanks.
Great, thank you.